Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about love in its purest, most authentic form, the kind of love that transforms, heals, and elevates us. Let me start with something that might surprise you. Real love is not about perfection. It's about vulnerability. You see, love isn't something you can just put on display for others to see. It's about the courage to open up, to let someone in and risk being seen. And that, my friends, is where trust begins. It's when you let go of the armor you've been carrying for so long and allow yourself to be loved, flaws, scars, and all. Love is sacred. It's a space you create together where there are no pretenses, no need for perfection. It's a space where you can show up exactly as you are and still be accepted. And when someone loves you, they honor that space. They make room for your heart, your dreams, and even your fears. But here's the thing, love isn't just words. Yes, it's beautiful to hear I love you, but those words only carry weight when they are backed by actions. It's the little things, the thoughtfulness, the consistency, the care that prove love is more than a promise. It's a commitment, a choice made every single day. A commitment to showing up even when life gets complicated. A commitment to being there when you need them most. And love, real love, doesn't shy away from difficult conversations or uncomfortable moments. It holds you accountable, not because it wants to control you, but because it wants to see you become the best version of yourself. It challenges you to grow, not by demanding change, but by walking alongside you, offering guidance and supporting you as you evolve. But love isn't just about what someone does for you, it's about being there emotionally. True love isn't about sweeping things under the rug. It's about showing up in moments of joy and grief. It's about being emotionally present, offering empathy, and creating a safe space to feel deeply together. And yet, love also gives you freedom. It doesn't seek to confine you. It doesn't demand you give up parts of yourself. Instead, it allows you to grow, to chase your dreams, to pursue your passions, and to still stand side by side as partners in this life. When love is real, it respects your individuality. It nurtures your personal growth, knowing that when you thrive, the relationship thrives. True love is not about avoiding the storms, but about facing them together. It's about holding each other up when the world feels heavy, standing strong when things break, and knowing that no matter how hard the journey gets, you are not alone. Together, you are resilient. You don't need to be perfect, but you need to be there together. And finally, love transforms. It changes you. It makes you better. When someone loves you, they help you step into your fullest, most courageous self. They encourage you to believe in your own strength and capacity for greatness. They show you that you are worthy of love, that you are capable of love, and that love is not something you have to earn, but something you are free to give and receive. So when a man loves you, remember this: he sees you not just as you are today, but as you have the potential to become. He walks beside you, not to change you, but to support you as you evolve. And together, you create something that is bigger than either of you, something that is built on trust, vulnerability, resilience, and freedom. This is the power of love, and this is the love you deserve. Love begins in a place of courage. Not the kind of courage we often think of, braving physical challenges or standing tall in the face of adversity. No, this courage is much quieter, much deeper. It's the courage to be vulnerable. It's to stand in front of someone and say, "This is me exactly as I am. Take me or leave me." That is the kind of courage that builds trust, that forms the foundation of any true, lasting connection. Vulnerability in love isn't about weakness. It's not about putting yourself in a position where you're exposed or at risk. It's about showing up as your true self without masks, without pretense, without the layers we so often hide behind. Vulnerability is the act of letting go of the armor we wear to protect ourselves from the world and allowing someone to see the parts of us we've kept hidden, even from ourselves. It takes a tremendous amount of strength to be vulnerable. Think about it, how many of us spend years trying to protect ourselves from hurt? How many of us build walls around our hearts, convinced that the only way to survive is to keep everything and everyone at arm's length? But the truth is, love cannot thrive in a place where walls are built. It can't flourish in a world where people are afraid to show their raw, unpolished selves. When we hide behind walls, we're also hiding the very parts of us that are capable of love, of connection, of growth. But when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, when we open up and trust someone with our hearts, we are giving them the most powerful gift we can offer, the gift of being seen, the gift of true intimacy. It's in those quiet, unguarded moments that love deepens and takes root. It's not in the perfect moments or the idealized images we project to the world, but in the messy, imperfect parts of us that love grows. To be vulnerable in love is to give the other person the opportunity to love you, not for who you pretend to be, but for who you truly are. And in turn, it allows you to love them in the same way. This is where connection becomes real. It's where we can finally exhale, let go of our fear of judgment, and experience the profound peace that comes from knowing we are loved not for our perfection, but for our humanity. When we embrace vulnerability, we also embrace the risk that comes with it. Because yes, there's always the possibility of hurt, there's always the possibility of disappointment, of rejection, of failure. Love is more than a feeling or a fleeting moment of happiness. It is a sacred space, a sanctuary where two people come together, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. When love is real, it's not about ownership or control, it's about creating a space where both people can be free to be their truest selves. This space is built on trust, acceptance, and the deepest form of respect for who the other person is, flaws and all. In that sacred space, there's room for vulnerability, growth, healing, and transformation. Think about what it means to have a sacred space. It's a place where you feel safe, where you can take off the masks you wear in the outside world, where you can rest your weary heart and not fear judgment. It's a place where you don't have to be perfect to be loved, where you don't have to hide your scars or pretend to be someone you're not. When you're in that space, you can show up with all your beauty and all your brokenness and know that the other person will hold you with care, with reverence for the real you. It's a space where love is not conditional or transactional, but unconditional, unwavering, and constant. The most beautiful thing about love as a sacred space is that it doesn't demand. It simply allows. It allows you to breathe, to grow, to evolve. It creates room for both people to become more than they ever imagined possible. Love, in this sense, becomes a place where both individuals feel free to grow and chase their dreams without fear of being stifled. It's the deep knowing that you are enough just as you are, and in turn, the other person is enough too. Together, you create something bigger than either of you could have imagined on your own, a partnership that becomes a source of strength, wisdom, and inspiration. When love is treated as a sacred space, it becomes a refuge from the chaos of the world. It's where you can heal after a long, hard day, and where you can celebrate the small victories that others might overlook. It's a space where joy multiplies, where laughter fills the air, and where quiet moments are cherished just as much as the loud ones. In that space, you can fall apart without fear of being abandoned, and you can build each other up without competition. It's not about perfection, but about presence. It's about being there fully in every moment, whether it's a moment of joy or a moment of struggle. The sacred space of love is not just about creating a haven for two people to exist together. It's about supporting each other's dreams, ambitions, and journeys. It's where you lift each other up when the weight of the world feels too heavy to carry alone. When love is sacred, it helps you believe in yourself, even when the world around you doubts. It allows you to become more than you ever thought you could be. Because in that space, you are constantly reminded that you are worthy, that you are loved, and that you are not alone. Love as a sacred space is not a destination, it's a continuous journey. It's an evolving space where both people learn, grow, and sometimes stumble, but always rise again. It's where you find the freedom to be yourself, and in doing so, give the other person permission to do the same. It is the space that holds you, that supports you, that nurtures you. It's where you feel both safe and seen, understood and celebrated, held with kindness and care, no matter what. And in this space, love blossoms. It is not just a feeling, it is the very foundation on which everything else stands. Love is not just a collection of sweet words, carefully crafted phrases, or whispered promises in the quiet of the night. It is something deeper, something far more tangible. Love is about action, about showing up time and time again, even when the world feels overwhelming or when life presents challenges we never anticipated. It's in the everyday choices, the small but significant gestures that speak volumes. The words, while beautiful and necessary, are not enough on their own. Love is proven through actions that reflect care, commitment, and presence. Think about it when someone truly loves you. It's not just about hearing them say, "I love you," every now and then. Those words are important, yes, but they are only meaningful if they are backed up by consistent actions. The real test of love is in the day-to-day moments, the early morning cups of coffee made just for you, the comfort in a difficult time, the willingness to listen when you need to be heard. It's about the sacrifices, the patience, and the support that someone offers you without a second thought. Those are the moments that truly define love. Actions in love are about showing up. It's easy to say you love someone when everything is easy, when the days are bright and the road is smooth. But love, in its truest form, is forged in the tough times. It's in the moments when you don't feel your best, when you're tired or stressed or broken, and yet that person shows up for you, no questions asked. They stand by your side not because they are obligated, but because they want to. They take the time to understand your fears, your dreams, and your struggles. They lend you their strength when you feel weak, and they give you their hope when yours is waning. That's love in action. It's in the small gestures that sometimes speak louder than the grandest declarations. It's the hand on your back when you need reassurance, the quiet presence beside you when words fail. It's the way someone holds space for your feelings, even when they don't completely understand them. Love isn't about waiting for the right moment to say something perfect. It's about being there fully in whatever moment life brings. And those actions, whether big or small, are what create the foundation of trust, connection, and intimacy. And love doesn't count the cost. Love doesn't keep score. True love doesn't say, "I've done this for you, so now you owe me." Love acts with no expectation of return because it recognizes that true love is selfless. It's not about doing something for the sake of getting something in return. It's about offering yourself to the other person, knowing that what you give is its own reward. It's in the quiet, unspoken moments, the ones where you are both fully present, and you both know without a doubt that this love is real, because it is felt in the heart and shown through every gesture. To love with action is to make the choice to be reliable, to be constant. It's in the actions that show consistency, not just in moments of joy, but in times of difficulty. Love is about being a rock for someone, even when the waves of life crash around you both. It's being the steady force that helps keep everything grounded when it feels like everything else is falling apart. And actions and love speak to the deepest kind of care. When you love someone, you want to see them thrive. You want to contribute to their well-being, to their happiness, to their sense of purpose. You want to be there to support their dreams, to cheer them on in their victories, and to comfort them in their losses. Love is not just about acceptance or tenderness, it's also about accountability. It's about seeing the potential in each other and believing in that potential enough to call each other higher. True love isn't blind, it's aware. It doesn't just hold space for the person you are today, but challenges you to be the person you can become. In love, accountability becomes a beautiful act of care, not criticism. It's the act of stepping into each other's lives with the intention of growing together, of pushing one another not out of obligation, but out of the deep belief that both of you deserve to be the best version of yourselves. To hold someone accountable in love is not about pointing fingers or casting judgment. It's about seeing the greatness in them, even when they might not see it in themselves. It's about encouraging them to rise to the occasion when they're tempted to settle for less, to remind them of their worth and their potential when they've forgotten. Accountability in love is rooted in compassion. It recognizes that we all have moments of weakness, moments when we falter or stray from our true selves. But in those moments, love doesn't stand back and remain silent. It steps forward with a hand, with a gentle push saying, I see more for you, I know who you are deep down, and I'm here to help you get there. When someone holds you accountable, they're not trying to control you or judge you, they are giving you the gift of growth. They see you as you truly are, but they also see the vision of who you can become. And because they love you, they want you to be that person, the person who lives with integrity, with purpose, with authenticity. They're not afraid to have the hard conversations, to speak up when something isn't right, and to offer the feedback that might sting in the moment but ultimately helps you become better. That's love in its purest form, offering support in your best moments and your worst, holding up the mirror so you can see your potential and your flaws clearly and choosing to love you through it all. Accountability and love is also about mutual growth. It's not a one-sided dynamic where only one person is asked to change or improve. It's a shared responsibility to rise together. When two people are truly committed to each other, they take ownership of their own actions, they recognize their own flaws, and they encourage each other to heal and evolve. The beauty of love lies in its ability to hold both people accountable, to push each other forward while never losing sight of the shared journey. It's about creating a space where both can grow, not just as individuals, but as partners, as equals who challenge each other to be more than what they could be on their own. And let's not forget that accountability is a form of respect. When you love someone, you respect them enough to hold them to the highest standards. You don't let them settle for less than they deserve, and you don't allow them to act out of alignment with their true values or potential. It's about having the courage to speak up when things aren't right, to say, this isn't who you are. I know you are capable of so much more. And when it's your turn to be held accountable, love means accepting that feedback, not with shame or defensiveness, but with gratitude. Because when someone loves you enough to hold you accountable, they are ultimately showing you the respect of believing in your capacity to change, to grow, and to do better. When love and accountability come together, something transformative happens. It becomes a dynamic of support and growth, where each person helps the other rise to their full potential. It's no longer about staying the same or avoiding discomfort. Instead, it's about creating a relationship where both individuals are committed to growing, evolving, and becoming more than they were before. Love is not just an abstract concept or a fleeting emotion. It's something that shows up in the most profound, tangible ways in our everyday lives. One of the most powerful ways love manifests is through emotional presence, the act of being fully there, heart and soul, with the person you love. It's easy to think that love is just about grand gestures or the words we say, but emotional presence is the foundation that holds everything else together. It's the quiet yet powerful force that lets someone know, I am here for you and you are not alone. To be emotionally present is to be attuned to another person's feelings, to give them the space to feel what they're feeling without judgment, without rushing to fix or change things. Emotional presence isn't about offering solutions or trying to make things better. Right away, it's about simply being there, holding space, and offering understanding. It's about being so fully connected with someone that their pain becomes your pain, their joy becomes your pain, their joy becomes your joy, and you both share the experience in a way that deepens your bond. It's knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, knowing when to offer a comforting word or when to simply sit in the discomfort with them without trying to rush them out of it. That is love in its most authentic form. When someone is emotionally present with you, they are telling you that you matter. They are putting aside their distractions, their to-do lists, and their own needs to fully invest in you, in that moment, in that emotion. This presence speaks volumes more than any material gift or empty promise could. It's the comfort of a hand held during a difficult moment, the steady support of someone who doesn't just hear your words but feels the weight of what you're going through. It's someone looking you in the eyes and truly seeing you, not as a problem to be solved, but as a person to be understood. Emotional presence is also about honoring the emotional experiences of the other person without making it about you. In a world where it's all too easy to become caught up in our own feelings, to make everything about our own needs, emotional presence asks us to step outside of ourselves for a moment and enter the emotional world of the person we love. It's about stepping aside from our own egos and embracing a space where empathy reigns. When we are emotionally present for someone, we validate their feelings, even if we don't fully understand them. We give them permission to feel deeply, without fear of judgment or dismissal. And we show them that they are worthy of being heard. But emotional presence isn't just for the heavy moments, it's also about celebrating the light. Love is in the joy, the laughter, the shared moments of happiness. Emotional presence shows up in those moments too. It's the excitement in their eyes when they share something important to them and the joy you feel in seeing them light up. It's about truly being there for the triumphs and the struggles alike, recognizing that both deserve your full attention. Love isn't just for the hard times, it's about being there to share in the light moments too, to revel in the victories, big and small, and to offer congratulations, encouragement, and pride. To love someone through emotional presence is also to offer a kind of emotional safety. It's about creating an environment where they feel free to be themselves without fear of judgment or rejection. It's where they can be open about their fears, their weaknesses, and their uncertainties, knowing that they will not be dismissed or ridiculed, but met with compassion and care. This emotional presence builds trust because it allows the other person to be vulnerable, to drop their guard, and to trust that they won't be judged. And it's in that trust that deeper intimacy is formed. When we give the gift of emotional presence, we give a piece of ourselves. We let go of distractions, of the noise of the world, and we focus entirely on the other person. This act of truly showing up, of giving our attention and our empathy, is one of the most loving things we can do. It says, you matter to me. Your feelings, your heart, your mind, they are worth my time and my energy. It's in these moments that we make someone feel truly seen and heard, and it's in these moments that love grows. Emotional presence teaches us that love isn't about fixing everything, but about being there in the midst of it all with an open heart, a listening ear, and a willingness to just be. It's the quiet power of love, not in what we do, but in how we show up fully and completely for each other. Love is often seen as a bond that ties two people together, and while that's true, there is a freedom within love that is often overlooked. True love is not about constriction, not about holding someone so tightly that they lose themselves, but about creating space for each person to be their most authentic, empowered self. It's about giving the freedom to explore, to grow, to change, and to evolve, while knowing that you're still deeply connected, still cared for, and still loved. In this freedom, love does not diminish, it flourishes. When love is true, it doesn't ask for possession or control. It asks for trust, respect, and mutual understanding. It doesn't demand conformity or the suppression of individual dreams. Instead, it encourages each person to reach for the highest version of themselves, knowing that the journey to that version doesn't have to be walked alone. Love gives you the room to be who you are, to chase your passions, and to make mistakes without the fear of losing the love that surrounds you. In this space, there is no need to sacrifice your individuality, your essence, or your dreams. You are free to be fully yourself, and in that freedom, love grows stronger. There is a profound liberation in being loved in this way. It's the freedom to show up exactly as you are without the need for masks or pretenses, knowing that the other person will love you for the raw, unpolished version of you. You are not asked to be perfect, you are asked to be real. This kind of love is not about molding each other into someone you think the other should be. It's about embracing the truth of each other with all the quirks, the flaws, and the complexities that make each person unique. Love, in this sense, becomes an act of liberation, freeing you from the constraints of who you think you're supposed to be and allowing you to just be. In love, freedom also means allowing space for growth. It's a gift to be able to change, to evolve, and to become more of who you are meant to be without fear of judgment or rejection. Love is the backdrop against which you can redefine yourself, chase new dreams, and explore different paths, knowing that the bond you share will not only endure but deepen as you each grow. In fact, the freedom to change is one of the greatest gifts love can give, because love is never static. It thrives in the dynamic flow of two people growing together, supporting each other, and discovering new facets of themselves as life unfolds. When we experience love in this way, we also experience freedom from insecurity and fear. Love isn't about trying to control each other or protect each other from the world. It's about standing beside each other, offering support and encouragement, but also the trust that each person can face whatever comes their way. There's a sense of peace in knowing that your worth is not tied to the other person's actions, and that love does not demand you to be anything other than yourself. Love, in its purest form, allows each person to walk confidently in the world, knowing they are supported, loved, and seen without needing to justify their worth or prove their value. This freedom within love also allows for a deeper level of intimacy. Because when you are free to be your most authentic self, you invite the other person to do the same. When you are free to explore the complexities of your own heart and mind, you create the space for a true meeting of souls. It's in this freedom that trust is built, because it's not about holding on tightly, but about trusting that the bond between you is strong enough to withstand the winds of change. True intimacy comes from the comfort of knowing that love is not conditional on perfection, but on the real, honest connection between two people who choose each other again and again, despite the flaws and imperfections that come with being human. To love freely is to let go of fear, the fear of losing the other person, the fear of being too much or not enough, the fear of change. In freedom, love is not a prison, but a wide open field where two people can run, explore, and create together. It's in this freedom that we learn what it truly means to love unconditionally, to accept the other person for who they are, not for who we want them to be. It's a love that allows us to be both fully connected and fully independent, to grow both as individuals and as a pair, to experience the beauty of companionship while also savoring the independence that each person brings into the relationship. In the freedom within love, there is also an invitation to trust. In the end, love is not a constraint, it's a liberation. It's the freedom to be who we are, to grow and evolve, and to be fully seen and accepted in our authenticity. It's the power to show up as our true selves, to embrace the unknowns, and to walk through life together with unwavering support. Love, when it is free, strengthens us, deepens our connection, and allows us to thrive both individually and as a pair. It's in this freedom that we find the truest form of love, one that is not about possession or control, but about trust, respect, and the unwavering belief in each other's potential. When love gives us the freedom to be ourselves, we are reminded that we are worthy, we are enough, and we are never alone. And in that freedom, love becomes limitless.